Hey guys, I'm going to show you today my setup for my new sub and my amplifier. I'm going to start off here, I'll just show you inside. See, I use still a factory installed radio. I don't have any aftermarket radio products in here besides the sub and amp. Everything's original. But we'll start off here in the front and I'll show you. You can see it's hooked into the battery there. It's got a pre-wired terminal on the cable. Just a simple 640 watt cable wiring kit. It's an 8 gauge wire. What I like is it comes pre-wired with a fuse protector, inline fuse here. It's got a 50 amp fuse in there, which you definitely want to have some kind of fuse in there so that it don't short out and end up catching fire or something. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that end down there's a gremlin, whatever you want to call them. It's running through the firewall. Come up here. Now I don't think you can see the actual wire, and I've got them concealed pretty good, so I'm not going to tear them out because I don't want to have to redo them. But hang on, you might be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. See, it's coming through right there, my power wire, and I've got it to run under my door trims here. You can see part of my remote turn-on wire right there. I'll show you where it's dug in a little bit. But my power wire runs my door trim back there from my front seat and here in my back. It goes under there. And here you start to see it because I can't really tuck it in anywhere. But it runs up here beside my seat. I tuck back in there. My power wire goes back down through the trunk right there. These are the only places I can get to my trunk right here. Got my remote turn on going through my seatbelt terminal. Yeah, it's broke, but it's a simple fix. I'll show you here. Right there's the red power wire coming out. And my remote turn on wires right there it is. It's coming up through there. My ground wires go into behind that carpet there, and then since I don't have an aftermarket radio in this car, I've taken and tapped into my factory speaker wires, tapped 2 sets of speaker wires into them, and ran them back through here. And at first, what I thought I was going to use, as I'm sure you've all seen them, is these little line in, line out converter boxes things. Converts speaker wire to RCA. Well, I'm not really familiar with them. I'm sure it works, but I don't have the knowledge of them yet to work them properly. So my amp came with a little kit or a clip. You can't really see it, but those wires running to it. It's just simple little crimp kit. You crimp the wires to it. And that works a lot easier. It sends the signal directly to it, and I don't have to use the braided RCAs. There's my sub. It's a 12-inch dual sub, 500 watt, along with a 840 watt dual channel Pioneer amp. It goes pretty good. And then, as you saw earlier, my remote turn on wire comes from over there, right there. Well, I get the luxury of having my fuse boxes in my cars right here. So I've got it wired into this thing. You can see it right there. There it is, the blue wire. Got it tucked away and it comes up. It's wired into my turn signal fuse. That way, it only has power when the ignition is on. That way my amp's not draining my battery power. But simple setup. It took me about not quite 4 hours. Did it one morning, and it was also cold, so I'm sure if it's warm out, it'd take less time because you don't gotta keep stopping warming up. But that's my simple setup. I got it set up here in the Impala, so nothing special about the car or anything. It is kind of, you want to make sure you have proper gremlins or that for the firewalls. On this one I just so happen to have pre-installed ones because this car used to be a police car before I got it, and as you know, they got all sorts of wiring going through the firewall, so if you do drill fill your firewall, you want to make sure you're careful. That way you don't hit any pre-installed wires, and that could mess up your whole electrical system. But that's the setup of my system, and it's not too hard, pretty easy, and I think it's a good sounding system. You know, pretty cheap sub. You know, just a simple audio system. So, thanks for watching.